Hey guys, CDTV Productions here, and let's just start this one by saying rest in peace to Jimmy Cole. Smokepurpp absolutely murdered him with an ether level diss yesterday. It was just completely savage. So it's only right that we pay respects. Now, Jonathan Cole is a rapper that I do enjoy quite a lot. I wouldn't say he's like in my top 10, but he's definitely close to it, I'd say. And this was a bit of a difficult list to compile, as he has laid down his fair share of strong verses. Now, to make it a little easier for me, I've decided to exclude guest verses and features from this video, as I could make a whole other video talking about those. But yeah, I've managed to come up with a list of my personal favourite verses from the man known as Jackie Cole. So with that being said guys, this is CDTV Productions, and let's get right into the video.
Now you scrambling and hoping to get hot again, but you forgot you only pop cause you was riding trends. Now you old news and you going through regrets cause you never bought that house but you got a pin.
Why not start with something off of J. Cole's newest album, KOD. This song was one verse long and served partially as a diss track, but more so an advice track to a particular rapper, but could also be seen as just talking about new age trap rappers in general. I think one of the greatest things about this verse is that it started up so much discussion. One of the hottest talking points from the KOD album was, who is Jackson Cole targeting on 1985? And obviously the most likely main target of the song is Lil Pump, but a lot of these lyrics could apply to numerous SoundCloud rappers. It contains some solid casual insults at these rappers, gave them advice that they really should take, and on top of all that, it really just was a conversation starter.
History repeats itself and that's just how it goes. Same way that these rappers always bite each other's flows. Same thing that my nigga Elvis did with rock and roll. Justin Timberlake, Eminem, and Macklemore.
And now let's take it back to another track where Cole called out some rappers. Now Cole has made it clear that this verse isn't really a diss either, but is more just his perspective on the state of hip hop and what was going on in it.
If you think I'm dissing Eminem, I know you just read the headline.
Right.
And you're not listening to the song, or you're listening to the song with the headline in mind. That has nothing to do with dissing Eminem or dissing any of those people. That song is that verse, not even that song. That part of the verse is an observation.
He pretty much covers the topic of white people getting more and more involved with hip-hop music and actually having an advantage because they are white. You know, they can appeal to more people, build a bigger audience, all that kind of stuff. You know, even Eminem himself has admitted that this is true. And Cole here does name popular rappers such as Eminem, Macklemore, and Iggy Azalea, talking about them getting involved with the culture and winning awards they might not necessarily deserve. It's just a very raw verse, whilst still being a little light-hearted, and it's probably the hardest set of bars on 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Ego in charge of every move, he's a star. And we can't look away due to the days that he caught our hearts. He's falling apart, but we deny it. Justifying a half-ass shit he dropped, we always buy it.
I think you might be seeing a bit of a pattern here. Whenever Cole offers his observations on rappers or superstardom in general, it typically makes for a good verse. It's assumed that this verse mainly talks about Kanye West, as it talks about a rapper who has so much pressure on them due to the fact that everyone is always watching him. He talks about how being a star has let this man's ego grow out of control, and says it's something that could eventually bring around his downfall, with Cole just saying he wishes he would stop before he has a breakdown. At its heart, this verse is just really about the disappointment when you idolize these people, these rappers, only to find out that in reality, they aren't really that invincible and they are just humans.
I couldn't help but think that maybe I had made a mistake. I mean, you owe me, dog. I thought that you could relate. But while I shot up the charts, you mean telling me that I was not up to par when I followed my heart?
And now let's talk about one that is aimed directly at another rapper and name drops them. I mean, the name of the rapper is even in the title, but this definitely isn't anything resembling a diss track. The story behind the song is that Nas was disappointed in Jason Cole when he heard his radio single, Workout. Nas felt that Cole was straying away from his lyrical roots, and Cole, being a massive fan of Nas, felt quite hurt when he heard this criticism. So this song is a message to Nas from Cole. Cole. In this second verse, he explains to Nas why he made the song work out, saying that he wasn't sacrificing his lyricism or going pop or anything like that. It was just that his label needed a single to promote the album, and Cole could use a big single that doesn't really have any deeper meaning to draw listeners to his album, where the real deeper meaning does lie. He even brings up the fact that Nas himself made a radio hit that got bashed quite a lot for following radio trends. This story has a really happy ending though, as Nas remixed this song and titled it Made Nas Proud. Aww.
If I'm giving y'all this hard-earned bread, I wanna know. Better yet, let me decide. Bitch, it's 2018. Let me pick the things I'm funding from an app on my screen.
I feel a lot of people can agree with me when I say this was the strongest verse on the KOD album. Here Cole tackles the issues that come with paying his taxes, specifically questioning why he can't choose where that money goes. It's incredibly well laid out in my opinion, and I really agree with the sentiment. To some degree, we should be able to choose what kind of area our tax money goes to. Like, I'm not saying we should have complete freedom in it, because then people will start putting their tax money towards ridiculous shit, but we should have, you know, some type of choice, rather than other people choosing where that money goes. He really hits this home at the end of the verse with a story of how tax money can essentially come full circle to funding murder in poor neighborhoods. Obviously, I can't cover every single detail he hits in this verse here, but I think it's an incredibly powerful one, and it's one that's going to connect with a lot of people due to its subject matter. And if you want to see how I first reacted to the album, check out my twin's reaction to KOD over on the CDTV The G channel. Like I've said, he looks exactly like me and has the exact same opinions, which is why I said it's my reaction. So go check that out if you want to see how I first reacted to this verse.
You everything I wanna be, that's why I fucks with you. So how you looking up to me when I look up to you? You about to go get a degree, I'ma be stuck with two choices. Either graduate to wait or sell a number 2.
'03 Adolescence might just be my favourite Julian Cole song on Forest Hills Drive, as it's one of the most powerful and almost the most cinematic in a way. In this verse, Cole talks about his life when he was 18 years old and just dreaming to get rich fast like a lot of teens do. He talks about how during high school he was really focused on his education and did pretty damn well for himself, but he still did associate with people who were selling drugs to get by. Later in the verse, Cole goes to the house of one of his drug dealing friends, and there they just relax and just kind of have a talk about their lives. Then Cole, with his desire to get rich, tells his friend that he wants to get in the drug dealing game, a suggestion which is immediately shot down by Cole's friend. His friend lectures him, giving him a powerful speech, telling Cole that he's intelligent and that the drug dealing game isn't gonna get him as far as his mind will. His friend also explains why he sells drugs, saying it's not something he wants to do, but his situation has almost forced him to provide for himself because he has a mother who doesn't care about him and doesn't care for him. Cole realizes from this that he's actually really blessed to be in the stable situation that he's in, and if he didn't have this conversation, or if this friend showed Cole how to get involved in the drug dealing game, his life could have went in a very different direction.
I got a feeling I won't see tomorrow, like the time I'm living on is borrowed. With that said, the only thing I'm proud to say, I was a father. Write my story down, and if I pass, go play it for my daughter when she ready.
Now, whilst I personally mostly disliked the For Your Eyes Only album, I did like the story behind it, and the entirety of this track basically explains the story. It's really hit home in this final verse, where Cole tells us that this whole album we have been listening to wasn't actually from his perspective, and was not his story, but instead is actually from the point of view of James, a friend of Cole that died when he was 22 years old. In this verse, it is revealed that the whole album is basically Cole narrating the story of James's life to his daughter, which is what James requested of Cole before he died. He requested this because he could sense his death coming, and he wanted his daughter to know that he loved her. So Cole followed through and made this album to tell James's daughter about who her father was. The whole album was for her eyes only, revealing what the album title actually means. I wish I found this album less dull so I could repeatedly listen to it, because I do love the story, but nonetheless, that does not take away from how great this verse is. Well guys, that's going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the start, there aren't going to be any guest verses included in this video, so I'm just saying that before you ask in the comments where like American Dream or verses such as that are. But let me know in the comments if there are any J. Cole verses that I missed in the comments below. And yeah, I'm not going to front like I've heard the earlier parts of his discography. I haven't heard his earlier mixtapes, but I just really wanted to make this video because, you know, because he's just dropped an album, I'm in my J. Cole phase right now. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, leave a like. I would really appreciate if you guys could share it to help it get out there, but at the end of the day, that's up to you. And I will see you guys all in the next one. This is your boy, CDTV Productions, signing out.